Hello, welcome back to the channel, and we're now into May, so it's time to look back at my April solar generation and how much I made from SEG, how much I saved on my electricity bills, how much I paid on import. And if you've been watching these videos for a while, this is going to be a little bit different today because I've changed supplier and I'm now on the Octopus Flux tariff. So if you want to get £50 for free and you're looking to change your electricity or gas supplier, here is my code for Octopus, so you can get that £50 to you. I will also get £50 to my account as well. So before I get into the stats, there's a few things I want to just tell you about because we've got some exciting developments happening on the channel. So first of all, please hit that subscribe button. Those annoying ad videos beforehand, before the videos, I don't make any money out of those because I haven't got 1,000 subscribers. If I had 1,000 subscribers, at least I wouldn't be able to get rid of those ad videos, but at least I will be able to make some money from it. So please take a second just to hit that subscribe button, because literally it does take a second and it doesn't cause any harm to you. Secondly, if you look below, you'll see that I think I've now got a membership package set up on YouTube. So this is $1.99 a month, and it's going to give you perks, and as I grow the channel more, there'll be more perks available to you. So at the moment the perks are quite trivial. They are emojis, fast response to any comments you write, so please write comments. Please tell me about your own solar generation throughout April and how you're finding your solar panels, or ask any questions if you are thinking of getting solar panels. So there's that membership available, and as I say, there'll be more perks coming over time, and again that's another way to subscribe or to support me and this content. Another thing that's changing with the channel, as I've moved it from a nanotechnology channel to a green tech channel, because for the past year and a half I've been pretty much just talking about green energy and my own experience. As you have seen from my previous video, which I'll link just up here, or just up here, I've started going back and looking at the science of solar panels and solar energy and batteries and all this sort of stuff. So there's a video up there about why the solar panels that you buy commercially are so inefficient. Why are they only 23% efficient? What is the limit for them? So that video explains all of that. It goes into a little bit of the science, so it's well worth watching just to improve your knowledge. It's probably more useful information than me telling you how much I've saved for my own electricity, although far less personal. So I am going to be releasing more science videos on the channel, so every week now I plan to release 2 videos, one on science and one on my own experience. I've also started lining up some interviews for the channel, so these interviews will be with current researchers or people active in the field. So the first one will be about hydrogen power, or using hydrogen as a power source, so hydrogen power cells, and also battery technology. So what is the current research in battery technology? And that discussion will be with, as I say, a current researcher. So that should be quite interesting, and the first one of those should be released in a couple of weeks' time. Okay, so now let's get on to the stats. So as I say, there are a few changes. So obviously my solar array is still the same. It's still 12 Q-cell 385 watt panels totaling 4.65 kilowatts that feed into a 5 kilowatt Solis inverter, and that can be stored in a 5 kilowatt hour battery or shared to the house. And I also have a SEG payment set up. So this is where things have changed. So up until the 1st of April, I was with British Gas. And for that British Gas, so my previous videos, all my savings were based on how much I would have been paying British Gas for my electricity consumption if I didn't have solar panels. And I was paying an import rate of 19p per kilowatt hour. And then I also had a SEG rate which was paying 15p per kilowatt hour for every kilowatt hour I exported. And there was obviously standing charge associated with that as well. So from the 1st of April I moved my import to Octopus, and I immediately switched onto the Flux tariff. And for me that means that in the main part of the day, which is between 5 AM and 4 PM, and from 7 PM till 2 AM, I'm paying for import 23, just over 23p. However, in the 3 hours in the middle of the night, from 2 in the morning till 5 in the morning, I'm only paying about 14.2p. And then there's a more expensive rate in the late afternoon, evening, from 4 PM till 7 PM, where the rate is up in the 35p's range. And this has meant that I've changed my habit. So before, I used to only rely on solar. I never used to charge my battery from the grid unless my battery was at a state of charge which was very low and it needed to charge just to protect the battery chemistry. So that only happened maybe 3 or 4 times over the course of the past nearly 2 years. Well, it'll be 2 years in August. However, now, because I get that cheap rate during the night, what I've started doing is importing energy and filling up my battery in that 2 hour period. So the 5 kilowatt hour battery is always charged up to full by 5 AM. And the reason why I've been doing that is because my export rate during the daytime is 14.8p. So I'm actually gaining 0.6 of a penny for every kilowatt hour I export compared to the import. So that has made a bit of a change. And obviously there's more, I get paid more for my export at between 4 and 7 PM when it's up about 25p or 24p for per kilowatt hour of export. But this also does mean that my analysis of how I've present all my data to you has changed. So gone is the multicoloured graph with what my self usage, what my battery discharge is, and so forth, and my import from the grid, because that's no longer relevant because there's always import from the grid. So I'll try and explain some of the changes as we go through. So let's go into the numbers. So in April we generated 418.5 kilowatt hours. And you can see that over the month we've had some days of really good generation, with the highest day of generation at 28.5 kilowatt hours. But the worst day, which was the last day of April, we only generated 2.6 kilowatt hours. April, according to the weather forecast, has been particularly grey and murky, and when we compare that to last year, in one of the last graphs of this video, we'll see that we are down at, we've only generated about 80% of what we generated last year. So April has been quite wet, it's been quite grey, but there has been some periods of sun, so that sunny showers for April may be a little bit true. So, over the whole of April, we have, again, this is now going to be distorted because I haven't actually calculated what my full use in April is. So I'm going to just do a quick look at my consumption. So luckily the consumption, or the load, gets split out by the Solar app and doesn't count the power going to the battery. So my load, so how much electricity I've actually used in the house, has been 213.26 kilowatt hours, which is about what we expect. I'm normally using about 200 kilowatt hours per month. So that has stayed consistent. However, normally if it's sunny I wouldn't import that much, but this April I have imported a total of 71.3 kilowatt hours. And importantly, just under 65 kilowatt hours has been on that low rate, so that's what I've been importing overnight. And that means that I've spent on the import at the low rate £9.64. But as I say, that's probably money that I wouldn't have normally spent. Money that I've spent during the daytime, so this is just when the Solis inverter is checking with the grid and making sure there's a connection, if there's spikes in my power before we can switch over to the solar. We've imported 6.46 kilowatt hours, which has totalled £1.58. And that's comparable to last year. So what I've done is for every kilowatt hour that I've discharged from the battery, which amounts to that charging that I've had during the night, the cheaper rate, I've added about the 9 point whatever pence it is, which I'm actually effectively saving. And then looked at how much solar I've used and so forth from that. So money I would have had to pay to Octopus if I wasn't, or any other electricity company, on the price cap, if I didn't have solar, would have been £34.81. So that means my total saving for this month, which is my total saving from not exporting, plus my seg payments minus what I've actually paid extra for importing in that cheap period, is £73.40, which is significantly higher than last April, and that's due to a number of factors, including my higher rate for seg, because last April I was only paying getting paid 5p. Now I'm getting paid nearly 15p and sometimes 24p. And obviously my monthly savings has gone up a little bit just because any import from the grid is now more expensive, because I'm now effectively paying the price cap compared to the 19p that was with British Gas. So this is how things have changed. So as you can see from my year generation graph, you can see April this year, which is in the grey, is far less than the April last year, where I had over 500 kilowatt hours generated. But in terms of money saved, or like payback, you can see that last year we had a payback of between £50 and £60. I can actually look that up and tell you exactly what it was. Last April it was £53. This April it was £73. So I'm going to continue tweaking my spreadsheet and creating better graphs, so that'll be in next month's videos. I should also say that from the seg payments, for the first 12 days in April, I was only getting paid 15p per kilowatt hour of export, because I was still with the British Gas seg, because they took so long to change that over to Octopus, because they had originally registered me as a commercial company. So my house was a commercial exporter of electricity, which obviously is not. It's not a power station. Anyway, as I say, thank you for watching. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already to keep up to date. Please consider the membership, and I look forward to seeing you in another video very soon.